How you guys doing? Like I told you yesterday, 7 years to pass an exam. 7 years. My false belief was that I thought I would be able to pass the exam by listening to what other people had to say. Remember, like I told you in a previous video, some people say, hey, only study survey, only study math section, or study concrete, or wait, hey, study a couple of weeks before, study a couple of days after. Hey, this time for the survey and exam, they're focusing on longitude and latitudes and monuments. Oh, hey, this time on the seismic exam, they're focusing on California law for structure construction. So during my 7 years while I was trying to pass the exam, I kept taking shortcuts instead of just saying, you know what, I just got to sit down and learn the material. It took 3 years for me to finally get that. I got it, and then I said, okay. And then it took another year for me to finally pass one of those, the 8-hour exam, because that one's the hardest, because you're there 4 hours in the morning and then you go back again for 4 hours in the afternoon, and you're bringing in these boxes with the books. And I remember when I first started to take it, you think it was like an open book exam with school. So you think, okay, I'll see the question and I'll look through all my books and get the answer. And that's how some people told me to do it. Hey, just mark the sections of the book that are going to be on the different subjects of the test. And then when you go in, as soon as you see the answer, pick up the answer and do the answer. So I thought, okay, I'll try that. Of course, it didn't work. You're like looking all through the books for like 2 hours and you realize I only solved 2 problems and I have 6 to go. This is not going to be a good thing. So I learned that's not the right way to do it. And then I said, okay, hey, take this review course, take that review course, and then you'll be ready for the exam. So I listened to all these false beliefs, or I was just listening to people saying, telling me do this, do that. And it's just never passed the test. And then after a while, when you hit those dry spells, you start running into people who said, oh, I took the exam twice and then I quit doing it. Oh, I took the exam 3 times again and I stopped doing it. Oh, I had a couple of kids and my salary's pretty high and I stopped doing it. So then you start running into people who failed the exam a couple of times and then they didn't take the exam again. And those are the people you start running into. You're like, okay, well, maybe if I don't pass it, I could be like one of them and just say, hey, I'll go back after the kids are grown up. Hey, I'll go back when I have more time to do this. I'll go back when I have more time to study and focus on it. But let me focus on my career advancement. Let me focus on my family. Let me focus on working extra jobs for the kids. But then they let the exam go. But I realized basically for me in my engineering field, the highest level you can go is basically the PE exam, because you can take that to any state, work as a certified engineer, sign plans, put your stamps on traffic control plans. And that's how I said, okay, as much as I would wanted to quit, I couldn't quit, because like in my current job, if I passed the exam, I would get a 10 to 15% a year pay raise. So like that's like instant money. But to get that instant money, I didn't realize it would take me 7 years to actually get a raise. So I should probably title this 7 years taking an exam to get a 10 to 15% raise. What would you do? Maybe that's how I should rephrase that. So. And I remember once I passed like the 8-hour test, I went back into that bad habit, because then you start getting a little copy. And then as soon as you start passing, who do you run into? And the thing where these people say they passed it, they took 2 or 3 times to pass it, or they passed it high, they passed it drunk, is you really had no evidence. So one false belief I had to break that, learn how to do, is like, just don't listen to what other people say. Whatever they say, it could be true, it could be right. I have no way to verify it. It's like the people who are married. They look like they're happy and married on the outside, but on the inside, someone's having an affair, someone's sleeping with someone else, someone's about to divorce or leave someone. So it's always like those unknowns that you have to that you forget about that exist. And sometimes you assume to take what everyone takes as gospel. But that's one thing I learned from my 7-year experience. Just because someone tells you something, unless you can get evidence to the otherwise and verify it, hey. Well, thank you for that advice. And if I have the opportunity to try to use it, I'll use it. And then you just move on. So that's helped me a lot, because then now I'm getting ready for a conference in Vegas called GrowthCon 4 with Grant Cardone. And I was just watching this one video when he was just talking about, I just keep listening. We are in a money world. I remember I'm at Albertsons right now. You know what? Albertsons is a supermarket that in the old days when people had money, they used to go here. But after July 2008 recession, when people got laid off and lost their jobs, they started going to Target, 99-cent stores, places like Audi, which are from foreign countries that come in, that sells reduced items. See, I'm at a place that's like, that was sort of practically empty. They have like these 7 register things that are called cash registers that nobody works at, half are empty. So there's 3 lines open with 4 to 5 people on the line. And you get people behind you. Like I had 10 to 15 items in front of me. Like 10 to 13 items in front of me. About 14 items. And you have the girl who comes behind you with 2 items. And the person ahead of me, they had about 40 or 50. So they were dropping the money. So go for them, man. It's good to see people spending money in the market again. So I let her go ahead of me. It's like, okay, I know how it is. You know, all these empty cash registers. Don't know why they're empty. Don't know what people are, you know. And then when there's work, what I like to do is like, not that I want to go off tangent about money and stuff, but let me just make a parallel to this. I used to go to the deli section of like Vons and Albertsons to try to get food and Safeway. And they take like 10 to 15 minutes to get to you. Okay. Let me cut to July 2008. You know what happened on July 2008? That's when the world stopped. And as America, as you ended it as one that made and manufactured stuff and was the global power in the world, ended. That's when people got laid off from these jobs that called. We had like bank managers, the truck industry came to a stop. Like credit unions went out of business and kept getting bought by each other. Car dealers went out of business. So these were jobs where people used to make $40,000 or $50,000 a year. And with those jobs, you can support your family, support a house. But now, cut to 2019, when I go to the deli and I go to the deli, well, it probably is jelly because the way they move as slow as jelly that's trying to harden in the in the refrigerator. And then I learned that during that 2008, that recession, the world came to an end because there was no money. And then now you have people commuting all these like 2 to 3 hours a day. I live in like the Riverside County area, San Bernardino. All these people are trying to buy houses. And I'm just like, why are you going to buy a house, man? I had a house in the end. It's just like a albatross after a while. Because there's no jobs around you to support you mostly. So you got people commuting 2 to 3 hours to get to these jobs in LA. Like I have Google, Yahoo, and other jobs. So when I see the people at the deli not wanting to help, I just think, you know, the recession's going to happen again. And you know the first person they're going to cut? You, deli lady. They're going to say, okay, we'll just replace you with a robot or something. Or they'll probably have self-serve get your chicken. And you know what? That wouldn't be bad for me because the only thing I like is legs and thighs. So that's basically what I learned from my 7-year exam. And we'll move on to why money is important. But the only way I was able to get to exam and get to the materials to get that 10 to 15% raise was I ended up working second jobs and having extra money so I can pay for the books, pay for the material, pay for the exam. So I want you to realize money is everything. Don't ever think money does not make a difference. Money is life. Like I tell you, money is more important than love. I'm telling you, till death do us part. Hey, till money do us part. If you don't have no money, you might as well get rid of the honey.